In research and preparation for an upcoming article in Fine Home Building magazine, I was looking into exterior doors and the landing requirements for exterior doors. And of course, for a new current article, I'm basing this off the 2018 IRC. But I always like to look at the history of this stuff, so that's what I was doing. And I'm going to start us here with the exterior door provisions. We got one required egress door, and then we get landings for exterior doors here. These are general provisions. And then here we get specific requirements for floor elevation or landing elevations for egress doors and landing elevations for all other exterior doors. So I always like to start my journey of history by making a guess, wondering how far back those provisions probably go. So I figured it was pre-IRC, so I went pre-international codes, and I went straight to the last Cabo 1 and 2 family dwelling code. And if you go to this book, sure enough, you find right here a section for the one required egress door and for landings on the egress door. But the landings here do not differentiate the required egress door from all other exterior doors. So there is some history to be found between this 1997 Cabo and the 1995 Cabo and the 2018. But first I wanted to keep going back. So then I said, all right, let's just jump back to the very first ever 1 and 2 family dwelling. This is actually pre-Cabo. You can see here the Insurance Association is still involved. This is before Cabo was formed a couple years later. 1971 edition. If we come into this early Cabo, again, this is like the predecessor to the IRC. We can see right here we've got doors, same thing, required egress door, and landings one step down on the exterior. So that also is identical. So, wow, that goes back really far, all the way to 1971. Then I thought, well, let's look at the dwelling codes that came from the UBC. And so I went back to the point of the 1982. I have a pretty complete collection of the dwelling codes. In 1982, if you go here, we get a whole section right there you can see on exits, doors, and door landings. This comes right after fire warning system room dimensions. So just to confirm, that was the earliest time for the Uniform Building Code. We can go back one edition to 1979. And if we open up here, there's room dimensions, fire warning systems, and oops, no exiting. So it appears to me that for the UBC, this came into the Uniform Dwelling Code, the dwelling code for the UBC in 1982. And then, of course, I do have only one, or yeah, this is my only Southern Standard dwelling house construction pamphlet. So this is as old as I've got, 1976. And it is in here as well. We do have right there doors and landings, and it's the same basic, same stuff that we see through all of this. Very consistent. But again, 1976 for Southern, it did not exist in 1979 under dwelling. And I do not have any Boca dwelling codes. I don't even know if a Boca dwelling code exists. I don't have that research or history yet. So next, my quest was, okay, when did we get the differential where we can do 2 steps on all other exterior doors, but only 1 step on the required door? So we start with the oldest IRC, and we go exits, exit door required, flip it over, and we've got landings, but again, 1 landing requirement for exterior doors. No differentiation. That differentiation did not come until the 2003 International Residential Code, and in this code is the first time that we saw here lots of bars. Notice this whole area got really changed. And here we see the 1 exit door, landings at doors. This is the generic requirements for all landings at doors. And then over here, you would get into the exceptions allowing the exterior doors. So this is where things changed, where you could get upwards of 2 steps coming down on the exterior of a non-1 required egress door, all the bonus doors. So there you go. There is some history on exit door landings amongst a whole bunch of fun old codes. Have a great day.